Hey, what's up guys, Mashine here, come back with a brand new video for you guys. Today, with everything that's been going on the past month with CSGO cases, we're going to be nailing down some really good things moving forward that I especially like, and I think you're probably going to like them as well. Let's hop on into it. The first thing I want to start off with is the cheap cases. Now, these are the cases that are either in the active drop pool or they are very recently moved cases such as Prisma, Danger Zone, Prisma 2. Now, a lot of these cases have creeped up in price significantly over the past month, but it seems like that's coming to an end, which in my opinion is a very good sign. We didn't want to see prolonged growth with these cases that were going at an extreme amount, because in my opinion, something like that is not very good. It's going to bring up a lot of people's FOMO, especially with cases. We're starting to see a lot of FOMO because we've seen cases like the Danger Zone case go up and double in just the span of a week or two, and that's not something I specifically like to see. It's something we've seen in the past, and it's not necessarily terrible, but it's not something I specifically think we need, especially with these cheaper cases, since they are so liquid and a lot of people have the potential to buy in at the top and get burned very easily, where when we're talking about the older cases, which we'll get to in just a minute, I think there's a lot less likelihood that we're going to see a significant amount of people get burned, because generally speaking, those are going to be much slower moving, at least at this point in their career, and I think that's going to be a lot better for the majority of people. And then you combine that with the fact that there's a potential large update on the horizon here, and we can look at the clutch case that dropped almost 50% last time we had an operation in the span of a month, and I don't think that a prolonged growth period is really what the game needs or CSGO investors really need at this point, because it's just setting up a lot of people to get burned when something big does eventually happen. The reason I personally struggle from seeing a lot of good with these cases that I've previously mentioned going up in price pretty significantly is I always view it as similar to like a pyramid scheme, whereas I see older cases have potential because there's not a ton of them being generated and there's more of them being unboxed than there is created. But especially when we're talking about the active drop pool, there is at bare maximum an even amount being created and actually unboxed. Therefore, the amount is not going down, and I always viewed it very similar to a pyramid scheme or like a multi-level marketing, because the only way you're going to profit by investing in is one, either gambling and hoping that it gets moved into the rare drop pool, or two, having other people invest, pushing up the price point, overall helping you and hurting them. Therefore, I've always took the approach that I would rather wait until these cases get moved into the rare drop pool before I potentially invest in, because at least at that point I know that the product I invested in is only going to be getting better, whereas obviously you can't say that's the case the other way around. At this point, it can almost be guaranteed that those price point increases are because of FOMO or other people investing in, thinking that there's going to be a large profit, because we've seen a lot of stable cases keep on growing in price or at bare minimum stay the same. Something even like the Spectrum 2 case, which really isn't that old relatively speaking, is still increasing on this graph. You can see here it's starting to sort of level off at the top here, which is completely okay and completely normal for a case that's seen a 25-30% growth in just the span of a month. And then you've got your cases that are a little bit older, like the Operation Phoenix case here, which is starting to sort of level off in price, but it's still keeping a very good price point, and it's still a little bit higher than what it started at a month ago, which is really all you can ask for a case like this that's been out for many years, and it's still increasing in price a pretty decent amount. I mean, 10 cents in 1 month is great for any case that's under $2. And then we've got some other information about our unboxing numbers for July here. Now, nothing out of the ordinary here. However, I would like to mention that these unboxing numbers are looking pretty decent. We've got cases like the Spectrum 2, which is still quite an old case and still starting to get a little bit expensive, like we previously mentioned, is the third highest confirmed rare case in unboxing numbers, which is really good, cracking just over 1 million and only trailing behind the Danger Zone and the Prisma 2, which are both significantly cheaper. And then right after that, you've got the Gamma 2 and the Chroma 3 case, both cases sitting close to $1 price point, still at over 800,000 unboxed, which is something that's really surprising for me, because I always thought that unboxing numbers would fall off pretty significantly as cases got more and more expensive, and to an extent, they definitely do. Obviously, we don't see people opening up these cases over here way on the left as significantly as the ones on the right, but still cases that are sitting at $1 price point, it's surprising to me that people are going for those rather than the ones that are the very cheapest. And that's especially considering that the Gamma 2 and the Spectrum 2, two of the cases we just mentioned that are in the top 5 for confirmed rare unboxing numbers, have terrible ROIs. I mean, we're looking at what, the 6th and the 7th worst ROI, which is absolutely crazy considering that's 40%. I mean, why would you open up a case and willingly give away 60% of your money. And finally, wrapping up with the overall unboxing numbers here, this was a really good month for unboxing numbers. It's the second highest month out of the 12 past months that we've seen for unboxing numbers. Now it is quite close to like the third and fourth place, but it's still good seeing that there's a lot of interest in opening up CSGO cases, especially one during the time of Antwerp and two during the time of the summer, where we generally speaking see a little bit lower numbers. And then the last thing I want to hit on is we're starting to get to a position where the quantity on the market is starting to become stabilized at this current price point we're sitting at for most of these cases, which is a really good thing moving forward, especially for those rare cases that it's probably going to slip a little bit and we're going to see that price point go down a little bit potentially, but I still think it's in a very good position here, seeing that most people that picked up some of these cases aren't looking to just quickly flip them on the market. And this is what I mean looking at this graph right here. You can see that the quantity is the orange lines, and you can see that it's relatively staying pretty stable. It's usually got some sort of jump around 3/4 over into the graph, and that's what mainly we're talking about before as the quantity disappearing from the market. But after that, you can see that relatively speaking on the graph, I think it's staying pretty stabilized, which is something I like to see, especially after a time period where we see a lot of cases disappear and a lot of growth come to the market. It's very good to see that it's found its new normal relatively quickly, and we're not going to be seeing too large of price fluctuations. I do definitely think we're going to see some price fluctuations because of what we saw around a couple weeks ago where we saw the price point change dramatically, but I still think that this is a really good sign moving forward that we're not seeing a ton of fluctuation, at least at this point. Now, a question I feel I'm almost guaranteed to get at this point is if this is going to be a great buying opportunity. Should you be buying? Anything to do with buying at this point. Now, if you're looking at selling, you can check out my past video, but specifically talking about buying here, I do think that there is some potential, but I personally wouldn't be buying in at this point. Obviously, I'm not making the purchase for you, and you should definitely make your own decision because I'm not investing for you. But at this point, I think you'd be better off waiting for a bigger update. If you've waited out this hype peak, I don't really see another reason why CSGO cases would go up very quickly in price again, unless we see Source 2 comes out and there's a completely new dynamic and people, for some reason, are now super interested in cases because skins look 10 times better or something wacky like that. At this point, I don't really see something like that, especially that major, coming out very soon, and therefore I think you should be better off waiting for a major update that would drop down the prices, especially when we're talking about those liquid cases. Liquid cases specifically, I wouldn't buy. If you wanted to pick up some of the older cases, I could see the argument to be made there. Personally, like I've said, I wouldn't be buying in at this point. I think you're definitely better off waiting for a certain buying period, at least at this point. Usually summer's a good buying period, but this summer, at least at this point, like I've mentioned, I don't think this is a great buying opportunity. I think you're going to have a lot better buying opportunities in the future. You just got to plan it out and make sure you're there when the opportunity presents yourself and not be scared. Biggest thing is when this next buying opportunity comes up to not be scared, because the prices are going to be going down sometime. But that is really all I have for today, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.